I'm gonna allow everyone to, we're gonna try to do a Q&A at the end between the last 10 minutes. So we're gonna try to go from like now to like 7:45, and then get a Q&A in, and then we're gonna let everybody go. So we're gonna try to run to like 7:45 to 8 o'clock at the latest. So what we've been seeing and what we've been hearing, mostly the struggle has been, how do we find clients? How do we retain, recruit and retain great caregivers? Um, what we've been doing in our marketplace, what's been working the best for us, and personally for us and my company, is that we've been using what we call a community liaison. And this has been developing, and it has become our best strategy. And what that is someone who we put out into the community to develop relationships with different referral sources. So basically how this strategy works is you compile a list of all the potential referral sources in your target marketplace. That's, assisted livings, adult daycare centers, rehab facilities, nursing homes, home health agencies, hospitals, anywhere where there's been, seniors, there's been an abundance of seniors in and out, in that particular organization. So what we have done is we have created a strategy, whereas our community liaison, we're working on hiring another one, is tasked with the job of meeting 25 to 30, contacting 25 to 30 potential referral sources each week, and 2 presentations each month. And that's how, we've been able to really start to generate some great leads, some great referrals, and develop some real good, meaningful relationships using that conduit, which we have is our community liaison. We call it a liaison, which is a LPN. And this has been our number one best strategy in like the last 6 months for us, as far as just like bringing in raw, good leads, like good, hot leads with people who are very, very ready to, get services. So there's other ways that we've gotten leads over the years, but this is something that we've been, developing slowly. But now that we're actually seeing the results, and all it is that they're going out into the community, introducing our company to these people and developing relationships with specific people in these organizations. And it's the social workers, it's the discharge planners, it's all the people that you hear about in all the literature and all the information that you see floating around on the internet. But actually going to these places, sitting down with them, making phone calls, sending emails, doing follow-ups, sending literature, doing follow-ups, sending literature, making phone calls, going back. And this is how we're able to create a consistent flow of leads to keep our agency busy. And this is what we are really pushing to our clients, our coaching clients, to develop this strategy. We know that when you first get started, this isn't a strategy that you can just, implement, because a lot of times you don't have the budget to, hire somebody like that, because it's not, whereas those caregivers are getting paid based on the hours that you're servicing. The community liaison is getting paid out of pocket until they start generating leads. And then we have a commission-based system as well. But this is definitely something that you want to do in the beginning. You want to start by creating this list, compiling this list of all the places that you're going to need, all the places that are servicing seniors in your target marketplace. And you want to start developing real, lasting, long-term, meaningful relationships. That's the number one thing. That's the most important thing you can do at this point in your business. Is day one is to start really developing meaningful relationships with these people in these organizations, and then you kind of spread it out from there. Yes, we still do bandit signs. I got my sign guy. He's out there right now every Friday night. He's out there. We still do signs. And the number 2 strategy that we really starting to really see pick up, and we're hearing a lot about it from, others in the industry, and we also seen it in the surveys, that the internet is really, really doing great for people. And when you hear about the internet, a lot of people get intimidated. My website, I don't know anything about it. I don't know nothing about, SEO, that's search engine optimization, Google ads, all these different things, content, creating, blog posts and all this stuff. Like, everybody's intimidated by, the internet. And because of that, it's allowing those who are taking the internet serious to actually win. What I want to stress to you tonight is that, again, the internet is the number 2 strategy across the country. It's the number 1 strategy across the country as what's working to generate leads. They're not necessarily leads that's ready to close today, but they're leads that you can eventually turn into clients. But for me, it's for our personal company, it's number 2. Like I said, the liaison right now is really doing a great job. We're really starting to see some real results, and getting a lot of client flow. And I really like to look at it as far as just the leads coming in and the level of motivation that the leads have. Because you can get a lot of leads, but then if they're not ready to, get services, it's just a matter of, you maintaining that, that follow-up campaign with them. But and those are what make the internet leads a little less cooler than the actual referrals from, the referral sources that developed by the liaison. So, but what I wanted to kind of do is kind of cover like the basics of what's going on with the internet. The internet at this point is it's not as complicated as most of us think, or most people think. You want to get an expert, you want to hire someone, but you don't have to like break the bank. There are all sorts of websites and different networks that you can tap into, like Fiverr.com, Freelancer. I think it's called Freelancer.com, and you can find SEO experts that will geo-target. So this is the key point when you think about your, creating your website and getting actual leads from your market, is geo-targeting. That means you're only targeting a certain geographical location. You're not spreading your website. You're not spending your ad dollars or your content. You're not creating your content to spread across the whole city, the whole county, or the whole state or the whole country. You're targeting specific areas in your community, whether these are zip codes, they can be counties, cities, wherever you're targeting. You can create a website, and through specific optimization strategies developed, by an expert, they can put your website and make sure it's coming up when people are searching home care in your county or in your city or in your zip code, opposed to all over it's just out there, and nobody's ever finding it because it's deep into the internet, and it's not coming up on Google when people search it. So the most important thing is to first understand the importance of it, and it's going to take you it's going to take time, and you're going to have to learn something about it. I wouldn't suggest trying to do it yourself, but I would suggest learning about search engine optimization, what's working, what's not, looking at the most current studies, like looking at Google ads through Google, like creating a Google ad account, going on freelance.com, going on Fiverr.com, looking for SEO experts with great ratings, reaching out to them, giving them a try. And if you don't even have a website, finding a great website developer. We have some people that we can refer you to if you need some help with your website. But Um, creating content. Another important aspect of search engine optimization is content. You want to have great content on your website that's going to be optimized for your area and your specific searches that you're trying to gain, like care for my mom, elder care. So these are the things: elder care Chicago, or elder care maybe not Indianapolis, elder care Houston, or South Houston, or you want your company to come up when people make these specific searches, because they're not going to come up when they do the general searches. But when they do these specific searches, you want to be able to be seen in these searches, and these are basically the one and two best strategies right now to really make a difference in your market. So there's like a subcategory when it comes to internet marketing, or generating leads online by way of your website, and that's social media. Running, I feel like I'm only excited about 2 sites as of now with home care. I'm not thinking about Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat and all that when it comes to home care. I'm looking at Facebook and LinkedIn. And LinkedIn just released a sales system that's amazing. I would definitely have you guys look into it. It's a sales program. You just have to, I don't know exactly what it's called, but if you get on LinkedIn, they're promoting it. It's a sales program that's built into the LinkedIn platform that allows you to reach out to specific people in your marketplace, and in its different institutions or organizations or agencies that provide home care, and it will give you access to referral sources. Great tools, great things that you want to do on LinkedIn. As far as Facebook, it's as simple as accepting that seniors are on Facebook. Seniors' children are on Facebook. People 55 and up are on Facebook. So you want to make sure you're putting your company, again, in front of the right people in the right way, targeted in a way that they're going to see it. So how we're doing, our Facebook ads is the same way. We're targeting specific counties. My company right now is focused on 5 different counties in Maryland, and we're targeting those specific counties on Facebook. A specific age demographic, just basically over 55. We're doing just women over 55, with certain keywords like Martha Stewart, stuff like that will, when they search these things, they get our ads come up. So they're similar to the website ads, the optimization, but on Facebook you could just use basic keywords, and then when people search those keywords and search those different things on Facebook, your ads will come up. Those people that fit that criteria, when they search certain things, your ads will come up. So it's just as simple as that. And again, it's just like a subset of the internet marketing stuff, but it's definitely something you really want to focus on. Really learning about it, creating a Facebook ads account, because I'm sure everyone on here has a Facebook account, and maybe you're not so sure about Facebook ads. Facebook ads has a whole different platform for people like me who are doing business on Facebook versus just connecting with friends and family on Facebook. So create an account, and start playing with the ads. You can start off as small as $5 a day, and you'll kind of see what your response will be, and then you can just kind of scale it from there. And again, there's a lot of information. Facebook actually reaches out to me almost every day now. I need to make some time for them, because Facebook has advertising like assistance that if you're spending a certain amount of money on Facebook, they'll start to reach out to you. And I've been getting quite a few emails from them over the last couple of weeks, just asking so we can sit down and have a call with one of the Facebook ad people. So they have a lot, and they're not asking for any money for those services. They just want us to learn how to better use their platform. And again, there's a lot of information once you create an account for Facebook ads. And I just really want you guys to stop, don't be intimidated by it. Don't be overwhelmed. Spend some time on it. It's not going to come quick. It's not going to come easy. You're not going to learn Facebook ads overnight. You're not going to understand Google ads overnight. But you have to spend the time to learn this stuff if you want to be competitive, and if you want to compete, and you want to exist. If you just merely want to survive in this industry going forward, you have to learn these skills. Just as important as far as the website stuff. You don't need to know how to do it, but you need to know how it works. You need to know the fundamentals, so at least if somebody's doing something for you, you know what to expect, you know the language, and you can make sure that you're getting what you're paying for when you do consult an expert. And if you don't have the money, you may have to do it yourself. And at the beginning, that's okay, because you still want to learn what's going on. You want to know what's going on every aspect of your company. Going back to the community liaison, like I said, most people won't have the resources to pay someone in the beginning. You have to be your community liaison. You need to compile a list. You need to start, developing these meaningful relationships with these people, so you can actually start getting referrals from them, and not only one or two here, but over a long period of time. You really want to make sure that you're positioning yourself in your marketplace as someone who's going to be around for a while, and that's only going to happen by creating real long-lasting relationships. I don't know how important. I don't know how to make it anymore. I don't know how to emphasize it anymore. It's the relationships that's going to make the difference. It's the people that you know in the community who are going to say, hey, I like this guy, I like this gal, she knows her stuff, she's passionate, she's serious, she's always here, she's always smiling, this company's always here, they're always smiling, they're always, when we need them, when we sent them a lead before, or and they converted the lead to an actual client. We got great feedback. They provided great service. Like, these are the things that are going to matter if you plan on doing this business long term and sticking around for a while. That makes me kind of think about the importance of studying the industry and raising your industry IQ. A lot of times, another thing I'm hearing about, is people just not, I can't get no clients, I can't get no clients. Are you competitive? Are you confident? Are you confident? Are you competent with the information when you're talking to people? Are you confident? Or is that confidence radiating based on your level of excitement, your level of passion, what you really know about the industry? Have you been studying enough about dementia, Alzheimer's, just basic home care? Do you know what you're talking about? Are these people really getting a vibe of confidence from you, or are you stuttering? Are you not so sure of yourself? Are you presenting your company in a way that's not exciting, that people aren't like, hold up, if this guy's doesn't seem like he's all that sure of himself, I don't think he needs to be taking care of my parents or my loved ones. And this is something that comes with, I feel, that confidence, that bravado is going to come with industry knowledge, industry intelligence, industry IQ. So you always want to be learning what's going on, what new things are happening in the industry, what are people doing to make home care better. Believe it or not, we look at this industry as like, okay, a lot of people look at the industry and even me at certain points was like, okay, we just sending caregivers order, they're doing their daily routine, and that's pretty much it. But not really realizing there's always an opportunity to make a situation better. And by studying other agencies and what other people are talking about, these different organizations, what they're saying, and going to different conferences and reading different studies and reports, you'll begin to see that there are little nuances and little different things that you could teach your caregivers to make them more motivated and more excited about their job, and that translates into better service and better care and more hours billed for your clients and from your clients. So raising your industry IQ is another very, very important thing. And I did say the community liaison, the number one way to drive in new leads, but the best thing you can do, the best lead you can get is from a current client that you already have, because the person that they're sending is already ready to sign. They're confident based on what their friend or family member has told them about you. So you get one or two clients, you can easily leverage that into 5 or 6 more clients if you provide great service. You know what you're talking about, and you position yourself as an expert in your marketplace. And it just, it's just a matter of really putting the time in and learning what you're doing and being really serious about it. I'm gonna kind of change lanes and go into recruiting and retaining great caregivers. It's a struggle, and there's no way about it. It's no two ways about it. It's a struggle to find great caregivers and keep good caregivers. It's a struggle because we're limited as a company and as an industry. There's only so much we can pay. That if we pay too much, we just push ourselves right out the market, and it's no longer feasible, or we're no longer able to do business. So we have to find more strategic ways to keep our caregivers happy. First, find great caregivers, weed out the bad ones, hire the good ones and keep them. And the first number one place you're going to find just to get a lot of numbers, just to kind of get numbers coming through the door, is Indeed.com. Indeed.com is the number one website right now for just, getting actual applications. You just want applicants, as many applicants as you can get at all times, because it's a numbers game. The more applicants you get, the better chance you're going to get, once you shift through all of them, you're going to get to some good ones. It's a great way to get a lot of numbers, but it's not always the greatest way to get them. One thing I was just telling my office was that we're getting a lot of leads from Facebook as far as applicants, but they're very, very, very weak applicants. I feel that the applicants who do apply via Facebook on our Facebook pages I feel like they're on Facebook not to look for a job, but they basically come across our information while they're on Facebook, probably just doing something else. We're probably just messing around and say, okay, I applied for a job. I was on Facebook, but at least I applied for a job today. But they weren't really out looking for a job. So I feel like those people are not as motivated or not as serious, and you can kind of see it in their application, the level, like, because on Facebook is becoming, they are competing in the job, the job advertising market. So they do have like a place where your applicants can submit resumes, phone numbers, references and stuff like that, emails, and, they can leave comments, like descriptions of, their work ethic and, their story or whatever. And you can kind of see that the people from Facebook aren't as serious as the people from Indeed and or LinkedIn. LinkedIn is another great place to not only meet referral sources, nurses, but also caregivers. We found some great caregivers, just by looking at other companies, and you can kind of see you can see who other companies have, who's working for them, if they put that information out there. So what I would do, we can easily just post the ad. I mean, we can easily just punch in caregiver or CNA or certified nurse's assistant in the search on LinkedIn for, like, we'll put the Washington, D.C. area, because they don't have like very specified areas. So so for my area, they have D.C. and Baltimore. So I got to look in D.C. or Baltimore, and that basically covers all the counties that I'm in. And none of these areas are basically in Baltimore, but they still, the way LinkedIn is set up is it's targeting all those areas. So it's just not specific. But we still, once we do that search in Baltimore, we will see people in our specific counties like Howard County, Anne Arundel County, Montgomery County, stuff like that. And if we go into the DC searches in LinkedIn. But what I'm saying is, you can put your area. You could put CNA or certified nurse assistant or home care or home health aide in that search in your area on LinkedIn, and you're going to see hundreds of caregivers, all their jobs they've had, and you can just push it like, connect, or I don't know the term that they use, like friend. They use friend on Facebook, but I can't remember the exact term that they use. But you can connect with them directly on LinkedIn, and then send them an app, send them some information. Hey, if you're ever looking for a shift, we have some. If you ever need some hours, or you want to come apply with us, we would love to do an interview with you. And you can just look at some of the places they work with, and you can look through their profile, and they say different things about it. And that's the beauty of LinkedIn. It's a professional website. It's not like it's like, I call it the adult version of Facebook. It's like where professionals go to network. So between LinkedIn, finding great caregivers on LinkedIn, reaching out to them, see who they work with, you could and then posting on Indeed. Indeed.com allows you to do two different types of ads. You could do a paid ad, or you could do a free version. If you don't, like, a lot of my coaching clients who are just now getting started, we say, hey, don't even worry about paying for no ads right now, but you do want to start building your caregiver database, but do the free version, start getting some applicants in, and then once you get yourself together, you feel like you got you got some nice leads that are coming around, then you can start doing some paid ads in specific locations. Again, Indeed has some geo-targeting tools as well. So with those two different websites or tools to generate the applicants, now it's the process of shifting through. And basically, it's sharing the vision, kind of just like we used to just kind of, gloss over it. Okay, you're a caregiver, you got some experience, I put you in the house with somebody. And it's like now it's like you can't be that, loose. You have to really find out who these people are, talk to them, what's their mindset, like how they really feel about this business. You can't be in it for the money. I know you can't be in it for the money because there's no money in it. I'm not saying it like that, but I really want to find passionate points. I want my staff to, when they're doing interviews, or if I'm, in an interview with a caregiver, I really want to know, or potential caregiver, I really want to know, like, who you are, what are you gaining from this career, or this. I mean, it's a career. I mean, you're going to be. Most caregivers are in it for a while. They become caregivers and they stick around a while. And some of the best caregivers are in their upper 30s, late early 40s, and that's statistically saying that's these numbers. The data came back and said this, that so you just want to get a feel for them, not to be discriminatory. Like I'm really not excited about young, fresh caregivers fresh out of school. Like I really don't want to put them with my clients. And I know I can't post an ad saying that, but I don't feel like if you're not really impressing me, your age, I will have to deal. I feel like I'm going to have to deal with your age, immaturity at some point, because and again, this isn't, this is, I can't say this a blanket statement, but this through experience, I would just much rather, deal with, caregivers with a little age, who are a little bit more mature and who have responsibilities and who also love what they do. It's a low, it's not a hard job to get, or it's not a hard career to get into. You can take a 6-week course to get the CNA license, and then sometimes most of them are applying for jobs and they don't even have any kind of certificates or anything. So basically anybody could be a caregiver. So that's the thing that you have to be careful, is that just because they're applying doesn't necessarily mean they're interested in this industry, or they're interested in really providing top level care to your clients. They just want a job, and that's you're gonna pay for that when you put somebody who just wants a job today, and they'll be gone tomorrow. You'll pay for that in the long run. So it's really important to really dig in and spend some time, just talk to them. Don't rush the interviews. What we like to do is a two-step interview, a group interview, and then the individual interview. The group interview is where we kind of talk about our company and what we believe in, who we are, what our values are, and then if we get all their paperwork in, the applications and references and all that stuff, their resumes, and we looking at that, and then we read out from there, and then the people who are left, we call them back in for a one-on-one, and then that one-on-one interview is more about them. We want to really get down and into their value system and what they're really here for. And that's the recruiting aspect. Now retaining, it's a whole nother science. It's a whole nother skill set. You really have to be creative, be consistent, and be thoughtful and mindful when it comes to retaining your great caregivers. I have some really great caregivers, and they're very, very hard to keep. And it's like I cannot take them for granted, because I can go to sleep at night knowing that my clients are in good hands, and that's a beautiful feeling. And you really, really want that in this business, to where you can basically run your company and not focus on, are my caregivers going to show up for work? When they get to work, are they going to be pleasant? Are they going to take their drama from their house to if they have drama, are they going to take it into the work? Are they going to be on their phones all day? Are they going to, do the bare minimum, or are they going to go above and beyond? You don't really want to deal with this stuff on the day-to-day with people, and having to micromanage, and the clients are calling complaining, and it might just be little complaints over and over again. It's like because they're doing the bare minimum, and when you find people who are doing great, you want to keep them. You got to figure out ways to keep them. And the number one way to keep them, the number one way to show your appreciation is just tell them. That's the number one way. That's the data. That's what the data says. That's all. If you talk to a caregiver, what really makes you feel good about what you do, and recognition. And it's not money. It's not a gift card. It's just, I appreciate you. You're doing a great job. The family loves you. We love you. You're invaluable to our company. You're invaluable to the family. You're doing a great job. We love what you're doing. And that is what people want to hear. And it's crazy, because we put so much value on money that we think that, if I can't pay them more, then what I'm going to do? What I'm going to do? I can't pay them no more. You have to find ways to show appreciation and through different ways. And that's it. That's all I'm saying. You think about it. You be creative. Employ caregiver appreciation dinners. We give out turkeys and gift cards and bonuses on Christmas. Like anything we can do to show that we care, birthday cards to the caregivers. A lot of people don't realize or don't think about it. Like when I first got into this, I kind of almost felt like I was at war with the caregivers. It was like it was like a battle. But now I feel through time and experience and just, a deeper level of understanding is that they're the most valuable player on the team. Because without the caregiver, without a great caregiver, you don't have a company. You don't have a great company. So you have to, develop these great rapport with your caregivers, and you really want them to, understand that you're there for them and create a family atmosphere. Because, at the end of the day, they depend on you for work, and, they want, and they want to be appreciated. They're spending a lot of time with that client. They want to know that the client is appreciating them, and, what they're doing is meaningful. Another thing that's very, very important is their money. But when I say that, I'm not saying that how they're getting paid is that paying them when they're supposed to be paid. In the beginning, it was tough running the company. Sometimes you stretch yourself out a little thin. You might have to move payroll around, push it back a day, or, change things around. And these are just realities for small businesses. I know people are like, oh, no, I would never do that. Oh, no, I would never do that. These are realities for small businesses. You never know what's around the next corner when you're starting a business. And there will be times when you have to go to hopefully it won't. It may be a time when you have to go to your caregiver and say, hey, look, payroll is going to be, I know we usually get you guys your checks on Friday, but we might won't get your check till Monday. It's just the way deposits hit, the client's thing. You had to do some marketing, you had to make an investment, or you had to pay a bill at home. You just never know what can happen when you're doing, when you're building a small business, and you're developing a company. So, but what I will say, do not play with caregivers' money at all. Never, ever, ever. Do the best you can to make sure that they're getting paid on a consistent basis. You're giving them what they say what they agreed upon, and that's it. That's really the most important thing that I could say, or the most important things that I could say when it comes to maintaining great caregivers. Appreciation, coming up with great ways to show appreciation, and not really playing with your money. Getting feedback from the family, and letting them hear it, because you always want to be making sure you're kind of doing a satisfaction follow up, like, hey, how's the services? Is there anything we could do to make it better? Blah blah blah. And when it's great stuff, you definitely want to, because there's always going to be some complaints. Maybe, usually it's always something wrong. But you don't just want to pour that on this caregiver. You also want to give them some stuff to, be excited about. Like, hey, look, they're saying some great things about you. And you always want to sandwich the negative. This is something I learned in Krav Maga. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, but it's a fighting style. It's like karate. But you always sandwich the negative. So, hey, man, you're doing great. You need to work on this little thing here. But again, hey, you're doing great at this, and that. So what I've done is I started with a positive, got the negative out the way, and then ended with a positive. And that's how you want to communicate. And there's all kind of little strategies like this that you can use to, keep them motivated, keep them excited. And then also, because they're on the front line, you always want to give them an opportunity to give you input. Hey, you're there all day. You've been working with us. You know what our ideas are and our thoughts are and what we're trying to do. We're trying to provide great care. What do you think we can do at your house or at our office or as a staff, as a company? What do you feel as a caregiver that works for us and works with this family? What do you feel we could do better to make your job great, the client more happy, and just make this a better overall experience for everyone? when you give them that opportunity to, you know, give their input, they might not have any great, you know, groundbreaking information, but it's empowering. You're giving them a voice. And believe it or not, they do got some great information because they're on the front line. They're seeing stuff that you're not seeing. They're dealing with the families. They're dealing with the actual patient. They're dealing with all the stuff that's going on the front line in real time. So they're your best source of information on making your company better. So you definitely want to really put some time and energy and effort into your relationships with your caregivers. They're very, very important and not to be overlooked. It's 7:45. I know I went straight in. That was the goal. I'm gonna keep this format. I really want to make sure I'm covering some really, you know, some important stuff. Covered a lot. I think I pushed the record button. If I didn't, we'll get back to it next week. But if I did, it'll be here in the virtual. It'll be on the coaching platform. I just upload it like the rest of the recordings and put the date. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up the line. If you guys have any questions, feel free to go. So
Hello?
if you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask them now.
Okay. So I'm just about to start out, like, on my own. So you were mentioning, like, the community liaison. So what would be the best way to start for myself? Because I'm the only person, like, that's going to be able to do that for now until I can afford to hire someone.
Absolutely.
So is there like a script or anything that can guide you into what to say when you approach these agencies or people?
Yeah, we have some stuff. I don't know if you have any of our products like the Business in the Box and stuff like that. But,
yeah, I do. I have that.
Yeah, and if there's nothing there, we can, you know, if that's not enough for you, then there is some other stuff that we do have that I can get over to you. Script.
Yeah, I would like that. Yeah,
but
that would be helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but what I would say is the first thing you want to do is create a list. That's the most simple thing, right? But it seems like nobody wants, you know, actually sit down and do it. Like, okay, I'm in, what city are you in, or what's your market?
St. Louis, Missouri. So I've actually created a list, and there are a lot of long-term care facilities. It's like a massive mecca of there's no shortage.
Yeah, so that's great, and you want to have, and that's what I always tell everyone. You shouldn't have any problem getting at least 100 phone numbers. You know, in a small market. You know, that's a small market. So now your next step is just start making phone calls, 10 calls a day, 20 calls a day, whatever amount of calls it's going to be. But you want to make sure you're doing this consistently every day. You're getting on the phone. You're making 10 calls. What are you saying when you get on the phone?
Right.
Hey, my name is such and such with such and such home care services. We're looking to develop relationships in the community. We're new. We're offering great services at affordable rates. How does one work with your organization? Is there a process? Is there a procedure that I must go through? How does that work? Is there someone I need to talk to? How does that work? That's the first initial conversation. From there, there's a couple different responses you're going to get. No, we don't work with anyone. Okay, boom, we're on to the next one. This is the way that we do it. This is how you have to do it. And then obviously that's what you do. Or this is the person that you have to talk to. This is who you need to contact. And then that's what you do. Right. You contact that person and go from there. So those are the only types. These are the responses you're going to get. And then based on those responses, you just follow up with them from there. What's going to happen is, what needs to happen at that point is you create a spreadsheet with some kind of timeline. Like if you don't have a software, we use Access Care. So Access Care gives us an option in the software to, put the notes and then pull up like follow-up dates. So we'll get alerted when it's time to follow up with, specific people. So like you said, you got a list of 100 people. How do you know when that you need to call? Unless you called all of them on the same day or the same couple of days, you want to know like, okay, when is the Who am I following up with? What was the last conversation? You know, you want to have that stuff organized. So what you're doing is you're creating a basically a system or a campaign that's going to continue to follow up. So they say, okay, you need to contact this person. You contact that person. How do you contact them? You call them. Chances are you're not going to get them on the phone. You send them an email. You send them a letter. You go show up, you know, and then you just keep doing it. You keep doing it. You have to do it. There's no easy way of going around it. You have to, sending an email is pretty simple. Sending a piece of, real mail is pretty simple, but you have to do it on a consistent basis, and you have to follow up with everything you do. If you send a piece of mail, you need to follow up with an email. You send an email, you need to follow up with a phone call. You make a phone call, you need to follow up with a visit. You know, if you're getting a nice bite, if you're getting like a nice response and you feel confident, don't just start going to show up to all these places if you're not feeling confident in their reception. You feel what I mean? I'm not saying
right.
Don't continue to follow up with them. Follow up with them until you get the reception that you're looking for, to where they say, oh, you can come in and meet with such and such on this day. And then now you start to, go out into the community. But in the beginning, you're just basically introducing yourself by way of phone, email, and mail, and just follow-ups. And that's pretty much how you do it. And then, once you get a client or two, you train somebody else to do it, then it's out of your hands, and you're just managing that situation. So,
and what do you think would be like the best pieces of literature to start out with? Because I'm trying to design like business cards or brochures. I was thinking, I spoke with like a long-term care facility / retirement apartments, and they have their own inside nurses or whatever, but they were saying they could have like wraparound companies, someone to assist them, and I guess they fall short.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I have to speak with a social worker, but she's not in until after June 12th. So I'm kind of like, what do I need to get together? What do I need to say to them? Because, I mean, this is a huge company.
Yeah, and I mean, you want to take everything you have, anything that you could put together. Obviously the brochure, but I mean, you got to remember, they seen 1,000 brochures. They're not even looking at brochure. Brochures, business cards, they don't care about that. Like, do you have references? Your insurance. Let's make sure you're legit. You got your license and all this stuff. But the most important thing is your story. Why you're doing it. How are you going to connect with this individual? And then references. These are like the two most powerful things, I feel like. References and who you are and how you're going to relate to that person. Telling your story, being a great storyteller, how you got into this industry, how you feel about it, what do you see in the marketplace, what are you going to be doing different? And these references are an example of what we're doing. Call these people or have them written up and just leave them with them, so they can read them or, read them on the spot. And I'm going to tell you, the big companies or just that you're going to be talking to an employee. If you're saying this is a big company, you're going to be talking to an employee.
Yeah, she's actually like a social worker. She's a social worker that works with the community.
Okay.
So she's dealt with a lot of other home care companies, but like for the research that I've done, they kind of just send people in. They don't really, they don't put their companies out there. There's a lot of companies, but you don't hear much about them. They're not doing much in the community, and this community is a big healthcare community, and there's a lot of things that you can do to make your company stand out. So I'm really trying to, because there's a lot of things I want to do. I really want to build my company up big.
Yeah, absolutely, and we all do. And the thing about it is, again, developing that relationship, following up, and being someone that they remember and they can trust and they can believe in. Another thing that's important that we don't realize is that they're talking to the boss. and they're talking to the owner, and they don't usually get that opportunity. So you're telling them that, hey, when you're calling me directly, you can call me directly. You're not going to have to talk to a front desk person and get transferred and get a call back. If you need a client, if a client needs service, you're talking to me, and I can handle that immediately. And if we already have someone here and they don't show, or there's any issues with someone we're already working with, you're talking to a decision maker, and that's usually what the organizations are concerned about. Am I going to be able to talk to a decision maker? I don't want to call in, because we've beat companies up on contracts for big assisted livings where they said, okay, they sent a representative, but talking to you, we see we're talking to the actual owner. So that means if a caregiver doesn't show, or we run into an issue, we have someone we can call directly. And their number one issue was they could never talk to someone that can make a final decision. And, that's just another, value add when you in that conversation.
No, that's true. Very true.
So, are there any more questions?
Hi, good evening. I'm Ora. I'm just so thankful that I could have joined the conference call tonight. I needed that revitalization for my business. I'm already registered and have my license and everything, but I was a little laid back due to my work and stuff. So I'm so happy that I took part into this conference call today. It just gives me some more fluid to energize my business and get back on track. So I really thank you so much, and I'm glad that I joined the conference call tonight.
Great. I'm glad you're here. How can I help you?
Yeah, I would just say thank you. Just
okay.
just for the push, because as I said, I joined last year, but due to my work, I'm registered. I have my license. I finished with the Medicaid stuff and everything. I have my cards, the website, and everything. It's just going out there and do some marketing. So I am so happy that I joined this evening, so I could energize myself back again. The question that the young lady was asking, just put some more thoughts and some more positive vibes into me going out there and registering, getting myself organized. You were talking about LinkedIn. Are you talking about LINKED? LinkedIn, is that what it is?
LinkedIn, yeah. LinkedIn, yeah. LinkedIn, okay. The website. It's the social. It's the one that for jobs and business.
Yeah. I think I'm registered with them, so I will go back on there, and try. I'm going to utilize more of the information that I have learned here tonight, and I thank you again. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Great, and that's the whole reason for me being here tonight. I really want you guys to see, it's one thing, like I can talk to them blue in the face, and you guys can have all the information, you got all this great information, this knowledge, I know how to market, I can do this and I can do that, but if you're not in the community actually, shaking hands, looking people in the face, telling people about your business, you're never going to have a business. You're going to, you can't grow. You'll never have anything. You'll just have a website. Like you say, you have a website, you got a business card. You just got a hobby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got a hobby that's a home care service. But it's it's not really a deal. So
I know.
This is what I like to do. I really want you to commit and dedicate, we call it block time. 4 hours. Yes. Find it. There's 24 hours in a day. You sleep an hour less, something. Cut out some TV, and I'm not gonna say did you watch TV, but cut out something. 4 hours a day to dedicate to your business. And if you have to work during business hours, that is what it is. You figure out a way to, produce and be productive, study your industry, make progress every day. Dedicate 4 hours a day to your business for the next 30 days, 60 days, 90, and you will be elated. You will be amazed on what you can do, and the progress you can make, and the strides you can make by just dedicating 4 hours a day. And that 4 hours doesn't necessarily mean you're doing one specific thing. Part of that 4 hours could be you're reading a book on business. You're listening to, a book on business on your commute to work, home and back. Studying, like I said, the importance of, developing a presence online, the Facebook stuff, the LinkedIn stuff, the industry stuff. Like these things have to be done. And if you don't put the hours in, you won't get the results. Like she said, she has the list. Okay, now that you have the list, how many phone calls did you make? I want to know how many phone calls you made. You have a list of 100 phone numbers. That means you should have 100 people that know about your company. And it's like as simple as that. If you don't do the work, if you're not holding yourself accountable and doing the actual work every day, you won't have the results. You just won't. They're not going to come. So you have to commit, dedicate, and discipline to make it work. It's as simple as that. I don't have a program that gets around the hard work. There's nothing I can do. There's no coaching I can do that's going to alleviate you from the hard work that you have to put in and make it work for yourself.
That's right.
So, it's 8:03. Like I said, I didn't want to keep you guys too late tonight. We're going to get back at it next Friday. If you want, you could send emails through the Kajabi account. You could, post them in the private Facebook account, and we'll talk there. Or, I always put my phone number out. You can give us a call during the week. And again, I thank you guys for getting on the call tonight, and I'll talk to you next Friday. Or again, like I said, you guys can reach out to me during the week. All right?
All right. Thank you, Alan. This was great.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, no problem.
All right. Have a good night.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.